Hey, Colin Aaron Clark. Seems like yesterday you were only 100, and now you're staring 200 straight in the face. It's a bicentennial for the Spikepit. Congratulations.
I've been searching for moons, for an evil ogre in an ancient room. Was a fortunate son of the OSR. Without a 10-foot pole, I wouldn't get very far. The ground was murky and I caught a look as the dungeon master opened up his grim-toothed book. And then I fell into a spike pit. Oh yeah, Spikepit. Oh, a pit would have spikes in it.
Thanks for all the company you've provided on long commutes and interesting things to say about our hobby and some friendship around the game table. All right, man. Hope you're having a good week. Enjoy 200th episode celebration. What are you going to do to celebrate? Can't wait to find out.
Very kind words from Aaron there. I think he really, for me, sums up why I do the podcasts. Admittedly, there are more selfish reasons, such as I just enjoy it, find it a creative outlet, and it gives me something that I can continually try and improve a little bit. This episode, you'll notice I'm doing things a little bit differently. What I want to try and do is push the envelope a little bit, try and improve my recording techniques, perhaps develop my content a little bit, and going on from episode 200, just raise my game. There doesn't seem a lot of point in doing something if you're not going to try and improve. For me, that is a major motivating factor. It's been a lot of fun over the last few days, messing with Audacity. The theme that you heard at the beginning of the show is a classic example of what I love about the Anchor community that we've got going here. TJ Drennan with his melodious Miasma Meltdown. Is that right? I don't even know if it's right. He started doing parodies of people's shows. And some of the parody was to do with the songs that we were using, the stuff that Logan Swordbreaker Howard put out. Logan kindly sent me a crazy Spikepit theme. That was the inspiration for my new theme. TJ mixed up his own, put it to music and come out of his own version. He's kindly allowed me to use that. Then I'd heard from Joe Richter on Hindsight List talking about his actual play, Wheel or Woe. He mentioned freesound.org. The idea was born. Perhaps I could remix TJ's idea, inspired by Logan Howard, into my own special spin on what was originally the crazy Spikepit theme. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing it. It looks like I'll be able to use that going into the future, at least for a while. We'll see how it goes. So whilst I'm talking about this little bit of a change in direction for Spikepit, I want to mention and credit a few key players who have given me something to think about and inspired me. First of all, I want to mention probably the first of the fellas who made a big impression production-wise on me, and that's Frank Turfler. If you listen to his podcast, you can tell he's always striving to put out some good production quality. It's his business. I know he's a professional in that field. and it shows. He did an actual play with his kids. I'll have to say I was pretty blown away, all the sound effects, and it's something I can only really aspire to.
Hey Colin, Spencer here. Just calling to congratulate you on reaching your bicentennial, 200 episodes, and never a dull moment. Long may you continue.
Another quite an influential character, although he probably doesn't realise it, is Spencer Game, aka Free For All, over on Keep Off the Borderlands. He's done some really clever edits with sound clips and recordings that he's made. Always adds a little bit of comedy in there. It's the sort of thing, it's very difficult to do stuff like that if you're just using Anchor. There's a limited editing facility, and I've just found that I've been enjoying the process, and I don't mind investing a little bit more time on developing that side of things for myself. Another mention on production quality needs to go to Che Webster. I know he's spoken about how he would like to make his podcast a little bit more spontaneous, but over some of the more recent episodes, I've noticed he's doing a little bit more of that. I think the level of quality that he's achieved over a decent amount of time now is quite admirable. I'd like to perhaps add a little bit of that role-play rescue polish, but in my own style, of course. The other person who I find very inspirational is Ray Otis. He seems to be on a quest to provide really good content. Tends to do a longer podcast, but he does, I get the feeling, agonise over what to put in the episodes to make sure that he's delivering a worthwhile content. Once again, that is something that I aspire to. I don't always feel that I deliver on it, but sometimes that's not always my objective. I like to think episodes are thought-provoking, perhaps entertaining to some extent, and possibly useful. Not necessarily in that order, of course. Now, having said all this, I don't want anybody to think that I've turned my back on the sort of punk rock spirit of Anchorcast. I think there's something very kind of engaging and charming about the classic Jason Hobbs or Tim Short's Drive Home podcast. Things like the classic unboxings. I don't know who did it first. I've got a feeling it was Tim Short's. Loads of people, including myself, have emulated the unboxings made famous by Tim, because half of his stuff is all mashed up in the post. Much to Joe the lawyer's amusement, Tim has been known to get a little bit agitated, and I mean, who'd have thought the unboxing was a thing on an audio medium? So I've got some thank yous to do. I want to put out a big shout now, personalised to each and every member of the Spikepit pit crew. In no particular order then: Hobbs and Friends, Frank Turfler, Che Webster, Darren Green, Logan Howard, Joe Salvador, Rich Fraser, Larry Hout, Spencer Game, Ira Bulber, Jeffrey Collier, James Richards, Ray Otis, Carl Birch, Tim Shorts, Matt Jackson, Eric Swanson, Mark Waring, Vance A, Glenn Robinson, Jason Connolly. Thank you guys for all your support, the ongoing generosity. It's a constant inspiration. It's just a really special thing, and yeah, thanks a lot. If you're looking to support Spikepit, you can check me out over on Patreon. Just search for Spikepit, and patrons over there will get access to my actual play recordings. Up to date, these have been a fairly raw affair. They're just me sitting down with a digital recorder and recording face-to-face sessions. I've had a good bit of feedback. They can be amusing. Obviously, they run quite long. They're generally around 2 hours. My plan is to break them down into a more episodic format going forwards and start to introduce some bells and whistles with the editing and maybe some sound effects. That's just an ongoing project and a way to develop my chops on Audacity and my proficiency there. So, like I say, if you're interested, check it out, Spikepit Patreon. I feel like I've waffled on enough. I just want to thank you, the listener, for taking time out of your day to listen to old Spikepit. I hope you enjoy the show and continue to listen into the future. And if you've only started listening recently, I do urge you to go back and listen to some of the past episodes. There's been some great call-ins. I feel like we've had a bit of a laugh, and I look forward to recording some more going forward.
I fell into a spike pit. Oh yeah, a spike pit. Oh, a pit would have spikes in it.